Hello, dear viewers. Welcome back to Let's Play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. I think we are going to return to Granite Grant here. What do we have going on? Morningstar protection is not good enough. I'm not entirely sure why we picked it up, actually. I guess it's pretty good, and it kept some monster from beating us up. I mean, a Morningstar is very good, don't get me wrong, but the flail is more heavily enchanted for us right now. Okay, I think we're going back to the vaults. Yeah, how are we doing on deflect missiles? Getting there. Getting there. That's right, we have this cool mutation with the spell power boost in exchange for a little bit of cast success. Yeah, we're wearing a ring of wizardry, which is helping us out a ton. How are our god abilities? Still really can't use Step from Time. That's okay. Oh yeah, we're training air magic up. I think I'll stop at level 3. The -6 is just really really rough. I think it may cap out at -5 actually, but that's still like half speed or something, maybe a little less than half speed. I think we're carrying around this book of power. Yeah, because we can memorize one of those relatively soon. We have 4 spell levels. We just hit spell casting. Okay, so it might be a minute before we are able to memorize any of those, which, you know, that's fine. We have a good kit right now as it is. We have a lot of tools. We have some defensive stuff with Stone Skin and Phase Shift, which increase armor class and evasion, respectively. Apportation is useful if we need to grab a potion that's insight that might save us or something. Yeah, you never know. Aura of Abjuration if we encounter some nasty summoner types. And then Regeneration is just a really good spell for long drawn out fights. Plus Iron Shot is good short range damage. Okay. An Ogre Mage, huh? Let's throw some javelins at her. And Iron Shot finishes her off. This seems like a... Yeah, there we go. This seems much better. The Redback, I can't tell if that had different art or if... I think it's just I'm not used to seeing them in the vaults. I'm only used to seeing them in the spider pits, and so the graphical difference is really interesting. So I've been playing a little bit with 0.15 online on the sort of beta patch, beta trunk version. One moment. Shucks. There we go. There's a creepy crawly on my screen. Oh no, it moved me. My this computer has a touch screen. It's one of those new touchscreen laptops, and maybe this is just me getting old, but I really can't get used to it. I'm definitely of the mouse and keyboard generation. I mean, I remember before there were mice. Those were the days. I'll close the door to let them... force them to open it for me, basically. This will also give me a turn to summon... Wow, a ton of ogres. That's kind of cool. It's fine for us to stand here in the doorway, actually. Since we have allies right next to us, they can't sneak through here, so we actually have a true choke point, as long as our guys survive, which I think they will. Let's wasted a turn, but I felt it was important to eat that food. I'm a little more liberal with permafood with Chabriado's followers because we get a good bonus to our metabolism. Chabriados slows down your metabolism, so you don't starve to death just from walking around the dungeon because you're so slow. So permafood isn't quite as important. And I really want to be able to cast a full complement of spells in every combat, if I can. If things aren't leaving corpses, then it's worth. Yeah, we are doing some fun stealth stuff. We're quite stealthy, which is not really all that stealthy. I mean, it's enough that occasionally we can sneak up on something. Mostly it's nice to have a couple of points of stealth. Oh, wow, this is a messy situation here. Yay, one elf. There we go, that's more like it. Got a necromancer and some minions. I like minions. I'm also glad that these wasps and mosquitoes are fast, because it's keeping that orc knight from muscling his way in there and being able to poke us with that trident. What is that? A glowing shapeshifter. Huh. Interesting. I can't say that I've seen too many of those. I think I've seen them before, but not too many without being something else. This is kind of a tricky situation. Let's get some regeneration going. The Ironbrand Convoker is just turning everything into really strong guys. I don't think we have any way to dispel that might effect. Let's just make sure we're sort of maxed out defensively here. Stone Skin, I think, is not quite as good for gargoyles as it is for other races, since we're already made out of stone, but it's already, I mean, it's still 4 or so, at least a couple extra armor class. No reason not to cast it here, aside from mana concerns, but I guess we don't have a potion of magic. That's a shame. But we have other options. I mean, we're not... Maybe the orc... Oh, yeah, he can hit us from there. That's a shame. Still, I think that orc knight is not going to be the most difficult thing we face here. I think that will be that fire giant, most likely. We don't have any smite targeted effects, unfortunately. Those are really nice to have. I wonder if we move here. That seems like a good idea. That means that wow. Ooh, I'm really glad that Shining Eye didn't get any hits off on us. Okay, good. Yeah, the orc was forced to step into melee range / line of sight. Yikes. Alright. Iron Shot doing some work there. Ow. Oh yeah, Fire Giants casting fireballs. Ugh. So painful. Fire Giants, Frost Giants, they're both really tough. Really tough. Why? Oh, because Phase Shift is level 5. No wonder. We still have regen up. I'm not really concerned at this point. We should be fine. Oh, yikes. A Shadow Dragon. Jeez, that hurt. Well. Oh, yeah, he's mited up. Those Convokers are really rough when they just sort of hang out behind a meat shield. And Teleport's too risky. think I may read a blink here. Yeah. We're out of mana, basically. That mighted Shadow Dragon is really tough to beat. We don't have any zoning potential. We obviously can't run away manually. We can't speed ourselves up either. What's the best way to get out of here? I think a decent start is to use this Wand of Digging to get us an immediate... Oh, I don't know if it'll... Shucks. Only the mightiest magic can shatter stone walls. Well, that's certainly unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that Shadow Dragon moved up to one of these, probably this space. So it will be able to, if we try and move, it'll be able to get to at least here. So even if we move here, we're within breath range, which isn't great. I kind of think I have to read a teleport scroll here, in spite of the fact that it's really risky. And let's drink a potion of heal wounds. Okay. I feel a little safer now. Let's see if we can't randomly enslave this guy or something. Good. We have phase shift mana again. Phase shift is really strong. 8 extra evasion. Ooh, that Convoker's reciting a word of recall. That's not good for us. We've got a teleport queued up though, so likely we won't have to. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and eat a ration here. Get ourselves as full as possible. Okay. Alright. Disaster avoided. Vaults are tough. That was also a very difficult room for us. This isn't a good place to fight. The fact that we had to teleport into the unknown does put us at significant risk. Cloak of Magic Resistance is pretty good. I'm glad we found it. I think it's even a +2. Yeah. Yeah, we've got some good equipment on this guy. The Crawl Gods have been kind to us this run. Boris. Oh, Boris is hard. Do we have anything that lets us see invisible? I don't think we do. I think this was a problem earlier. Yeah. Boris is a lich. A very powerful lich. And you can't actually kill him. I mean, you can kill him in an individual instance, but you can't kill him permanently. He always has a chance of respawning somewhere else. I think against Boris, the invisibility doesn't do us any good. The additional damage from the crushing would be nice, considering switching to this other mace. Let's definitely read a Scroll of Fog. Oh no, that's a Scroll of Fear, not a Scroll of Fog. Curses. Well, he can't get to us in one turn, so let's move here. And then we'll close this door, so we know that when it opens, he's standing in it. I don't believe we can run away. I don't think we have the capability to do that. So let's see what we can do here. Get in there with deflect missiles. Get in there. I'm not sure how it gained 4% without us hitting a full uptick of a level. I don't know. Alright, what else can we do? We can drink a potion of might. That seems like a good idea. Potion of Agility isn't quite as good against him because, I mean, our defensive stats are not going to do a ton of good against his necromantic magic. We do have some resist negative energy, though, so that'll help. I think he has Fireball and stuff, too. We could memorize Iskandarin's Mystic Blast. That doesn't seem like the best idea. I'm pretty sure Iron Shot in this particular instance is going to be as good, if not better. Yeah. We should be fine. We could drink one of these potions of invisibility, or our single potion of invisibility, but I'm pretty sure you can see invisible, so that wouldn't do us too much good. Oh, we also have our god abilities. I completely forgot about those in the last fight. Slouch could have been useful, although I don't think any of those were fast enough that they would have just been straight out slain. We could have bent time to try and slow all of them down. That could have been helpful. Increase the delay of all their actions by 50%. Okay, let's shoot it like this. No, okay, let's shoot it like this. Okay. It's good that we're hitting him with it. It's really rough not being able to see. Let's save our mana here, and there we go. Okay, yeah, it is standing. He is standing in the doorway, which is good. He opened it from here, I believe, and then moved into it. We're using control and the directional button. Hey, there we go. Took down Boris. He is Natasha's owner. Or Natasha is his familiar, rather. Was. I think we killed Natasha, maybe? Can't recall. Natasha is a Felid mage that tends to appear early in the dungeon. Okay, 26%. We're definitely not raising air magic any further. I think 3 is as far as I want to push that. And spellcasting, conjuration, charms. Those are all good. We'll keep working on those. Might be worth it to put some more into earth magic at some point. Do I want to go with a 5 skill spread? I don't really want to. Kind of want to focus charms, though. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Fighting, spellcasting, conjurations, those are just trickling up to give us incremental benefit. Or, just basically to have experience in them, because they're all going to be good throughout the entire game. I'm never going to regret putting points into any one of those 3 skills, so we can just kind of... good, a Potion of Cure Mutation. That's a very good find for us, because we were out. We had to use it on... there's a slime on this level. That's really rough. Cyclops. I don't like fighting Cyclops I don't enjoy the prospect of fighting a Cyclops in the open like that. So let's go up here. Yeah, this is much more reasonable. Yaktars are like centaurs. If you can get them in melee range, they're really not very problematic. It's like a staff of some sort. Maybe not. I guess it was just a weird crossbow graphic. It's really frustrating that there's a slime somewhere on this level. The nice thing is they can't eat artifacts. The bad thing is they can eat potions and scrolls, which would be very useful to us. Oh yeah, we have a lot of resist cold, don't we? I am going to drop our Potion of Cure Mutation here. Since we know the slime isn't right next to us, and I really don't want to risk at all it being. Let's get some shadow creatures to help us out. Polar bears are actually fairly tough enemies. Bears in general are fairly dangerous, though I think we're beyond the point where they're deadly to us. They just, they bear some caution. Man, another Cyclops. The reason why I'm really hesitant to fight this guy is because we don't have deflect missiles online yet, and they just chunk you with large rocks the whole way up. I guess we can get a bunch of critters on our side as kind of a meat shield. Lots and lots of Cyclops. See, here we can actually move forward, because even though it's taking us 2 turns per step, he's not going to kill both of those things and hit us in those 2 turns. Okay, good. Our guys just straight up took him down. Marjorie. Who's Marjorie? Wearing a fire dragon armor. That might be a nice pickup. In service to the powers of hell. Her strange armor. Yeah, I seem to recall it's just a regular fire dragon armor. It might be somewhat enchanted, but it's not going to be anything stellar. Let's get some help. Ooh, some good help. Ow. Seriously, we resisted and it still did 38 damage to us? Did she hit us with something else? No, she's just really strong. Does she look extremely dangerous? Yeah, she does. Well, I think we'll be okay just iron shotting her down. Maybe not. It's good that she was confused there for a second. I'm probably going to run out of iron shot mana here. No. There we go. And we can just evoke this Wand of Cold. Boom. Got her. Summon's doing work yet again. Shucks. I wish I had saved up. Wish I'd saved slouch mana. Yeah, 5 mana points. We will recover these reasonably quickly. Looks like the ogre is going to teleport this night or something. The other one's hitting us with a glaive, which isn't my favorite thing in the world. Yeah, right as we were about to kill him. Well, what can we do here? Can I see invisible? No. Alright, well, let's do this. Okay. This will maybe let us approach... I'm trying to decide if it's better to approach this Hell Knight or to try and run away. One of the questions is, where would we run away? To which location would we run away? We can't really go back this way, because this room is going to be stuffed full of these monstrosities. And I haven't found another staircase yet. Do we have a scroll of magic mapping? Not on us. The other problem is that if I step forward, first of all, he might just hit us out of nowhere. The second problem is that there may be other critters behind him. Somewhat resistant to hostile enchantments. What if we do this? Can we confuse him? Yeah, that's good. Then we can approach. Let's take out the Necromancer first so that he doesn't resurrect a bunch of zombies and make this fight way harder than it needs to be. Let's slouch and see what happens. Alright. We got one of the Hell Knights. Yeah, I think we can just... There we go. Okay. Reasonable fight. That Demon Whip of Electrocution we might actually switch to, depending on how heavily enchanted it is. That tentacled monstrosity will catch up with us, but we might as well keep moving. We're invisible, that's right, so he couldn't see us, I suppose. Let's get up here, close this door, and... Okay. Back to full. We're getting beat up a lot, and I don't know why that is exactly. I feel like we have good defensive stats. I guess the last character that I got this far was a Deep Dwarf, maybe? I don't clearly recall. I've had a few very successful runs lately. A Fire Dragon Armor. Let's pick up this Fire Dragon Armor. Let's get this Demon Whip. Oh, it might not have been a Demon Whip of Electrocution. I think that's what our Ogre Mage had. Man, I wish our Ogre Mage had dropped its weapon. That's cool. Not like is this +1/+3? Not good. Yeah, I mean, with all the damage we're taking, I think it's still a good idea to have our Mace of Protection up. There's that. Ooh, that should be good enough. Okay. The reason why I felt safe approaching there is because we had an ally. I'm not happy about being drained. Okay with that. I was going to say I was okay with that tentacled monstrosity constricting the Convoker, but it's turning out to be very tough. I don't think... Oh dear. That Aura of Abjuration was an accident. I pressed the wrong hotkey there. Let's close this door, that way we don't have to go quite as far. We managed to kill the Convoker before he completed his Word of Recall. You have a short grace period where you can... cool. Having a Cyclops on your side is quite nice. The Shadow Creature spell is just really good. I am a very big fan of it. It's pretty variable. Like, that could have been a single regular ogre, for example. But I feel like, even when it gives you weaker summons, generally it's still enough to stall until you can cast it a second time. It gives you at least a turn, usually. And eventually you're gonna hit on something pretty good. We're just gonna march towards this Necromancer. A Necromancer without an army is not that scary when we already have negative energy resistance. Let's oh, that one's not awake yet. No reason to deal with it if we don't have to. Charms is at level 9. How's Deflect Missiles? 21%. Alright, so we're probably going to need another 2 or 4 levels in it. In charms, I mean, for it to be castable. The reason why I'm spending so much time and experience getting deflect missiles workable is because it's going to make this game drastically easier for us. There are many, many, many things that we fear now that we will not fear at all once we have deflect missiles. And especially later on in the vaults, there are enough things. I mean, if you encounter a Yaktar pack at the end of one of these long open hallways and they just start pelting you with crossbow bolts, it doesn't matter how good your defensive stats are, you're eventually going to take damage. Just, I mean, law of large numbers. This situation here, I do feel comfortable moving towards just 3 of them. I mean, they can't kill me in 6 turns. There's basically no way. An uncursed glowing great mace. That's worth picking up. I probably won't use it anytime soon because shields are really, really good for us defensively right now. But it's worth considering once we get deflect missiles online, shields go down in value. By that point, we'll also have better evasion and armor class, presumably. I mean, we will guaranteed have better armor class because of our innate armor class increase. So the fact that shields can block melee attacks will not be quite as crucial, although the shield is still really nice against things like Lehudib's Crystal Spear and other beam-targeted spells. You know, or like Iron Shot and whatnot. Yeah, I think I really do think I might memorize Magma Bolt next. Just because we're having trouble with these meat shield type fights. Oh, this could be really good. A really good opportunity to use our Aura of Abjuration if this Cobalt Demonologist summons anything nasty. Though it seems that we can just slay him and get rid of his summons that way. Yeah, not too bad. Easy fight. Is our spell hunger going down at all? No, not really. We need a few more levels in spellcasting for that to happen. Yeah. The spread is still fine. Oh, that's right. Yeah, this is this area. Well, let's use this other Wand of Cold. We have so many that I might as well. Oh, Sentinel's Mark. That's no bueno. Let's at least close this door. I mean, things will certainly try and find us. I mean, they will open this door, but we might as well give ourselves somewhat of a headshot. Let's get some friends. Ooh, that's a good summon. Bunch of trolls and a troll shaman. Ooh, and a preserver. That's really good. Share that damage between them. Let us get a little bit closer. And yeah, they soaked up and dealt a lot of damage. So I think it's time that we summon some more, however. Okay. What are the most dangerous things here? Probably the Convokers. Once they kill off some of our summoned critters, a Shock Serpent. I bet that's a shapeshifter. Shock Serpents are not too common in the vaults by themselves. Yeah, if they kill off our summons, we can just use Slouch, polish off a lot of these guys. Well, at least the Sentinel's mark is gone. That's a plus, I suppose. Yeah, the Shock Serpent is a shapeshifter. Oh, a Moth of Wrath. I really hope it shifts away before it can enrage anything or berserk anything. Okay, good. That's better. Just going for the low-hanging fruit at this point, going for the weakest monster. Since we got rid of all the really bad ones. This Yaktar is kind of beating us up from down there, just shooting away at us. Did we summon a shapeshifter? That's funny. Constant excitement. And rest up a little bit here. And we got a new ring. We haven't found many rings this game. Been a bit light on them, but that's fine. We have a couple of reasonable ones. I think it's what, Dex +5, yeah. And this Wizardry resist cold ring. It doesn't actually, we already have resist electric and resist poison naturally, so it's just Wizardry and resist cold, but that's plenty good. I mean, that's definitely good enough for us. It makes a lot of these spells castable that wouldn't otherwise be castable. I mean, basically, none of the ones above level 3 would be castable. Maybe level 4 would be. I mean, they'd all be technically castable, but the failure rate would be high enough that it wouldn't be worth risking it. We would waste time and become contaminated and all that bad stuff. The one nice thing about getting a Sentinel's Mark put on you is that it does mean that the rest of the level exploration goes fairly smoothly. Another spellbook is nice, and another cloak is worth checking out. What is it? Ooh, a Cloak of Preservation. That's pretty good. I think I want to wear the Cloak of Magic Resistance for now, until we find a little bit more magic resistance. Or just naturally acquire some. We really want at least 2 pips to avoid just being constantly confused and whatnot. Let's put this on instead of this Ring of Dexterity. A Ring of Teleport Control. I think that's still an evocable item, 50-50. Yeah, I mean, it's fine having one of those, but eventually we're just going to want to know the spell. We really don't want to put any points into evocations if we can help it. I mean, it's certainly not bad. Like, it would be useful. Evocations are reasonably useful throughout the entire game, although they're best early and mid-game. And you should never really level them past about 15 unless you're doing the Nemelex thing, using Dex a whole bunch. Though Dex are being reworked, Nemelex is being reworked. I will try him out at some point. I may do that on the trunk right now, or the trunk that's online right now, the 0.15. I may wait until it becomes downloadable, though. I do not know when they will release the next trunk. Here I want to kill the soldier ant first, / shapeshifter, so that this fire crab doesn't just go to town on me. Ow. Stop shooting me. Fire crabs. Hate them. We really do have to kind of back up there. It's not the best, but it was just too much stuff hitting us. I really wish we'd found a spell book with the spell blink. That'd be kind of nice. Go, Stone Giant. Alright. Some line of sight woes here. Regular Yaktars, not so scary. I don't mind approaching them. It's just the Yaktar captains. I mean, they're about as much stronger than the Yaktars as Centaur warriors are stronger than regular Centaurs. Ah, level 20. Ooh, and another point of intelligence. I'm pretty sure we're at a 100% on those. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, that's right. We found a Book of Unlife. Necromancy. We have Regeneration, don't we? Yeah, so we could put points into Necromancy, but we have a bad aptitude for it. And I feel like Necromancy is one of those spell schools that you really kind of want to go all or nothing. You want a lot of points in Necromancy for it to be really worth it. Okay, so here it's between Bolt of Magma and Orb of Destruction. I think I'm going to go with the Bolt of Magma, because even though Orb of Destruction gives us a better long-range option, long range isn't the worst thing for us. We can always just Temporal Distortion and move things closer to us if we absolutely need to. So, yeah, I think the penetration of the Bolt of Magma, plus the fact that it's immediately castable, we don't have to wait for our conjurations to go up. And I don't know about its spell power at the moment. All but 3. Wow. Both are really strong. But I think the deciding factor is the hunger cost, actually. And the fact that we'd have to wait longer for Orb of Destruction. Yeah, let's just memorize Bolt of Magma. What did it key up to? J. Might want to rebind that. Nah, it's fine. I'll just leave it there for now. See how much I like it. Let's drop an empty wand, just so we can unclutter our inventory a little bit. Oh, yeah, we don't need this Ring of Flight anymore, obviously. We can fly all the time for free! No evocation needed. I mean, I guess it is an evocable ability, but whatever. So here's a thing we could do. What's the encumbrance rating on this Fire Dragon armor? 11? Probably too much. Almost certainly too much for us. Let's at least finish clearing this level before we start going crazy with armor things. Oh, so painful. Yeah, Convokers are pretty rough. They, I mean, the fact that they pull things from elsewhere in the level, and then they might them up. With the latter being almost more problematic than the former, although the former is quite rough. The summoning business, that is. Move out of line of sight. Getting there with deflect missiles. I guess maybe our intelligence has something to do with... I really forget how spell failure / success is measured. I know that spell casting is part of it. At least I'm reasonably certain that spell casting is part of it. It's some combination of spell skill is absolutely 100% a part of it, and it's also some combination of spellcasting and or intelligence. I think intelligence is involved because unless it's scaling incrementally off of our skills rather than at level breakpoints, like maybe from spellcasting, that's a possibility. That extra point of intelligence was a glowing crossbow. Is that... I guess that's an artifact? No, it's not. I don't know why it's showing up in a different color text. That's very strange. It's a little frustrating that we... I don't know. Whatever. I didn't really want to use it, but if it was an artifact, I definitely wanted to know what it did, at least. And remove curses. I mean, relatively common. There's some games, I mean, there's always the chance that you'll go an entire run without seeing one. That's always a possibility with Crawl. Yeah, my arrows are better than your arrows. My magical arrows. Oh, it's magic. Man, these 2 points of stealth doing work. Turn that fight from a potentially tricky fight into a really easy one. It really never hurts to have a couple of points in stealth. I mean, unless you're going like plate armor or heavier armor than that. Like plate, gold dragon armor, or crystal plate, not really needed. Though if you stack enough stealth modifiers, you can actually be stealthy wearing some of the crazier things. What did we just get a level in? Conjurations. And this bolt of magma, super strong. Iron shot is even stronger, I guess, because... Oh, yeah, because we don't have any levels in fire magic, do we? Wow. Still very strong, all things considered. Once deflect missiles is castable, we will stop training charms immediately. Once we get that down to... It really only needs to be at the point where a miscast doesn't inflict dangerous amounts of glow. You can see that that 16% failure rate is in sort of an orangey red. That means it could inflict harmful levels of glowing. All right, I think the vaults are... yeah, I think we can go back to the... who's its... Snake Pits. I think that's... oh, man. Deep Elf Annihilator and Invisible Things. Okay. Demonologist, huh? Let's get our Aura of Abjuration going. Boom. Got rid of that one. Yeah, this Iron Shot is strong. Probably should have used Bolt of Magma there to hit them all at once. And also to get some sort of gauge of how much damage it's doing. Alright. Start off by going back to our stash. The other reason for moving towards the snake pits is because it lets me go back to my stash and check things out, maybe try on the Spire Dragon armor, and then end this video since, once again, I'm playing before bed and just trying to get relaxed enough to fall asleep. And I've definitely reached that point. Coincidentally, that point is also about the time that I stopped being good at this game and run a much greater risk of just a stupid death, blundering into a +0/+1 Great Mace of Protection. Yeah, I mean, Great Mace has excellent base damage. 17 is huge. I mean, at +1, it's at 18, which is 4 more than our +4 flail. But its accuracy is bad, and we'd have to give up our shield. So for now, let's get rid of it. Plus, we would need to put additional points into we would need to level our maces and flails up to level 20 to reach minimum delay with a Great Mace. So not really worth it. At this point. Later on, sure, we can do that. But right now, we really need to get our spellcasting online. Yeah, dropping some of these things that aren't really going to be very useful and or are nearly out of charges, probably. Wand of Draining has basically reached its limit of usefulness, especially since we're so low on evocations. We can drop these javelins too, I guess. They're not the best. Let's put our buckler back on. We're going to keep this Cloak of Preservation with us. We're not really pressed for inventory space just yet. And alright, let's see. It's a +2 Fire Dragon armor, huh? Let's see how uncastable our spells are. Oh. Was there even any change? 6% and 19% are our highest. Ooh. We can wear Fire Dragon armor. That's really nice. So what that's going to do is it's going to boost our fire resistance by another pip and reduce our resistance by 1 pip, which is fine by me. Fire is generally more scary than cold in this game anyway. You tend to find more fire things than cold things. And I think it just does more damage in general. Yeah. No spellcasting penalty. We get extra fire resistance. A lot of extra armor class. Wow. That's, gosh, what were we at? I guess we lost 3 points of evasion, but we traded it out for... Hold on, I do want to check this. Oh, no, not that leather armor. We want the +3 leather armor. So 43.22 versus 37.25. So we gained 6 armor class and dropped 3 evasion. That's totally worth it. A net gain of 3 defensive points, although going from 22 to 25 in evasion is a larger increase. There's a larger difference between 22 and 25 evasion than there is between 37 and 43 armor class. That being said, armor class is awesome. It's really, really good for us, particularly because we're going to take a lot of hits from melee things if we ever have to move around them, and things that can hit us very frequently tend not to do a ton of damage. We're so close with these deflect missiles. Oh, and our charm skill too is really close to 10. Maybe it'll go down to 10%. The reason why deflect missiles doesn't have to be at 19 versus, I guess it was 16 before. So we did lose a little bit of functionality in our spells, and it'll make the higher level spells that we memorize harder to cast. But at the same time, it'll be a little while before we can even memorize another high level spell anyway. We need 6 more spell levels to memorize something higher than what we have now. And pretty much everything else at level 6 or higher that we are going to memorize from this point out is not going to be an air magic spell. By the way, dear viewers, I'm not going on to the snake pits. I think I implied that earlier, but I want to say it straight out. If you want to tune out at this point, I am just talking about skills and stash stuff. So if you are already familiar with this process, thank you for watching, and feel free to end the video here. But if you like to hear me ramble about statistics and items and stuff, feel free to stick around. Probably won't be too much longer. Okay, so charms at level 10 will probably drop our deflect missiles down to maybe 15%, unless the fact that it has to average with air means we need another full level in it to get another drop. Yeah, anyway, soon with that. Not too much longer. And when that becomes castable at about 10% or so, the reason why we don't really need to be able to cast it on the fly is because deflect missiles is a very robust effect. It does not time out naturally. There's no time limit on it. There are not many spells that are like that. Repel missiles is the same way, but unlike repel missiles, deflect missiles can absorb a lot, or can deflect a lot of projectiles, a lot of strong projectiles before it fades. Whereas repel missiles, you'll get half a dozen arrows or bolts on average. I think that's about it. Whereas deflect missiles, you'll get 10 plus with every cast, generally. It's still random number generator, RNG, so you can never quite tell. You shouldn't, rely on it to guaranteed last an entire combat, but generally it will. It's because I believe the mechanics of it is that it's a percentage chance with each projectile to fade, and the percentage chance is higher for stronger projectiles. So if for example, a kobold is using a sling to throw stones at us, it will absorb those all day long, whereas a deep elf annihilator that's blasting us every turn with a Lahudib's crystal spear, it won't deflect as many of those. And of course, it's not a 100% chance to deflect. It's a good chance. I believe it's even a better chance than repel missiles. I think the trigger percentage is higher for deflect missiles, as well as the duration and whatnot. We can drop this leather armor. That's what I was going to do. Stealth is cool and all, but especially now that we have that fire dragon armor, we want to have resist cold sitting on us, just because it's really nice to have a little bit of every resistance. I mean, I don't know exactly how it goes. I want to say it's like more or less 25% resistance per pip of things. Maybe it's more than that. It might be 30%. Because at 3 pips, you have a very good chance to resist most elemental effects / negative energy effects. At 1 pip, though, it's still a significant enough damage reduction that it's worth. I mean, 1 pip of the first pip of any resistance is probably worth between 5 and 10 armor class or evasion. Situationally, of course. If you're not fighting any fire creatures, it's clearly worse to have fire resistance than to have armor class and evasion, or cold resistance, or what have you. Drop this delicious potion of mutation. And 3 potions of curing. On the drop screen, you just press a number and then the letter to drop a specific quantity of something. I don't mind having a couple of wands of cold on us, since we don't have any cold spells. I mean, we have Bolt of Magma for our fiery needs, but even though it does some physical damage to critters that are resistant to fire, there are some things that are vulnerable to cold, particularly in the snake pits. A lot of things suffer additional ill effects, such as slowing from cold, as well as damage. That's right, we have this Book of Unlife. I think at this point we can leave this Book of Power here too. I want to read it again just to double check. Yeah, Venom Bolt, we are past its prime, I believe. Poison Arrow is a good one. It's a, I think it's Poison Arrow. Maybe it's Venom Arrow. I don't know. It's like the level 6 beam projectile poison magic. It's like it's the strongest poison magic spell, I believe. And it's very, very good. It deals a healthy amount of physical damage on top of its poison damage. So if you decide to go the route of early game poison magic, that's a good one if you happen to pick it up. It's not as I don't think it's as prevalent now because they took it out of the starting Poisoner's spellbook. I think it used to be in there. Maybe it never was, and you had to find the Book of Annihilations or something. But it's still very strong for a level 6 spell. So I do recommend it. It's useful through the vaults, I would say. It begins to drop off in the vaults and the depths, places where things are generally resistant and or immune to poison. I guess it's not and or resistant or immune to poison. Then it's just a reasonable physical damage spell. It's maybe as strong as Iron Shot, and it's a level higher. Oh no, it's definitely not as strong as Iron Shot. They're both level 6. And Iron Shot has a good max spell power there. Yeah. Regeneration isn't great. Oh, we cast it instead of observing it. Charms. Oh, yeah, Charms and Necromancy. So it's fine, I suppose, because of our reasonable charm skill that will be a little bit better. Like I said, I don't really want to put points into Necromancy. I may throw a couple of levels in there. Let's see what options we have necromancy-wise. Animate Skeleton is fine. Just make some bodies between you and whatever, but they're not strong enough to be relevant at this point in the game. Lethal Infusion is bad, as are the other brand weapon spells. They are actually removing them in 0.15 because they're so awful. It's just so rare that you're ever going to have a weapon that is highly enchanted but does not have a brand already. You're not going to just find a +6/+6 Morningstar lying around without a brand. So you would have to enchant up a base weapon and then waste a turn and mana putting a brand on it. I mean, I guess it could conceivably be useful if you know you're going to be fighting a bunch of cold/fire monsters and you want to make sure that you have a way to deal with them. You don't have another source of fire or cold, but that seems pretty suspicious tech right there. So yeah, they're getting rid of them in the next patch, and I'm fine with that. Clutter up the books less. They get to, I think that will improve the Scald's starting spellbook somewhat. I think it's the Scald that starts with some kind of brand spell. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, Poison Weapon is also terrible, and it's a level 3 spell. Yeah, they're bad. Okay, so we can't memorize Haste, sadly. Haste is amazing. It's fantastic. It's one of the best spells in the game. I mean, finding a Wand of Haste is sweet. Memorizing Haste is a huge power spike for most casters. But we obviously cannot haste ourselves because we follow Chabriados, and he would be quite cross with us. One fun trick is to skill up Ignite Poison. We could get that pretty reasonably castable with just a few levels in fire. And we kind of might want to train up Transmutations anyway. I'm not sure about that yet. But Ignite Poison is really good in the Snake Pits because Yeah, a lot of things there are poisonous. Spider's nest as well. And ignite poison does work on things that are naturally poisonous. Though it's, of course, better if you poison them further. Some more necromancy. Gosh, I mean, it's almost worth putting points into necromancy just for haunt because it's smite targeted, and smite targeting is very, very powerful. If you're not familiar with that effect, if you haven't seen another video where I've talked about it, smite targeting does not require line of effect. You can it only requires line of sight. As long as you see something, you can target it with a smite targeted spell or ability, even if there are things standing between you and it. Unlike a beam, which stops with the first thing, or a bolt, which penetrates through all things but still hits the stuff in front of it, between you and your foe. Smite targeting can bypass, for example, summoned monsters, your own summoned monsters that you don't want to kill or make hostile, as would happen with a bolt spell that would reach back there. And sometimes you just don't have the range on your bolt spells. For example, the magma bolt that we have now doesn't have the best range in the world. Yeah, is it really the same range as Firebolt 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, or not Firebolt, Iron Shot? Range. It is, yes, the same range as Iron Shot. That's actually a little disappointing. I thought perhaps it would have longer range. So we still don't have a very good long range option. Although Petrify is fine, we will want to memorize Orb of Destruction eventually in that case. That's why I think Lightning Bolt has max range, max line of sight range, and Firebolt and Cold Bolt may as well. I'm not entirely sure. Couldn't say for certain. What is Death Channel? Oh, right. Yes, when things die, when you kill things around you, they turn into ghosts. Seems reasonable. Mass confusion isn't going to be good until the hexes rework. The reason why I don't really ever memorize hexes currently is because to overcome the hostile enchantment resistance of a lot of the endgame / post-endgame monsters, you have to be like maxed out hexes, and even then they resist frequently enough that I just really don't think it's worth it. I mean, Discord is kind of cool, but I mean, we can't even cast it because Chabriatus doesn't like it. That's about as powerful as it gets. Dragon form is something we might look into. Just because, dragons are strong and kind of cool. But I don't know that it would be worth it because we would lose the benefits of our armor. And maybe our rings as well. I'm not sure what all is melded into your body when you turn into a dragon. Malign Gateway I've never used, but could be good. I mean, it's a level 7 spell, so it has to be somewhat strong. And it's certainly easier for us to get up to snuff than Haunt would be. It summons a portal, and then these creepy tentacles come out of it and hit things, which is nice. Alright, so we really don't have that many high-level spells that we really want to be able to cast. Blade Hands is perfectly reasonable. If we have a reason to level up Transmutation further, and we have 5 spell levels floating around at some point, I will probably memorize it. Statue Form is actually something we might want. The downside of Statue Form, the huge disadvantage, is that it makes all of your actions take 50% longer. So casting spells takes 1.5 turns. Our flail's delay would be about, well, between 1 and 1.1 turns instead of 0.7. However, it gives us massive armor class and damage reduction bonuses, as well as a bonus to melee damage. And if we are using something like Blade Hands, or even if we're just attacking unarmed, it gives us a massive bonus to that as well. It gives an additional bonus to unarmed combat. However, I think that's about all I have to say at this point. I've been rambling for long enough, and I'm tired enough to fall asleep. So thanks for watching, dear viewers. I appreciate your presence, and I will see you next time.